Hello, everybody.
Hi.
We are going to hit topics today that hopefully hit home with you guys, and hopefully you can hear us because we're sitting in the car in the rain. It's the beach. It's beautiful.
Welcome to Everyday Ellises.
Welcome to Everyday Ellises.
We are on a little date, and we decided we want to spend part of it with you. So thank you. Here we go.
Supplements.
So I started taking some new supplements. One of my intentions this year is to have better control management over my central nervous system. So I spoke with a couple different friends and got some of their input. And I'm gonna get the name wrong. Shativa, Kavari is one of them. It's specifically for women. And then the other one is a magnesium, GABA, holy basil combo that I take at night.
Okay.
I was taking a magnesium supplement, but I don't think it was the right type of magnesium. So I switched that, and that is definitely helping me feel less anxious, more calm, still having some sleep troubles, but overall, I notice a difference from taking those two supplements specifically.
Yeah.
Are you taking a new supplement?
I am. Taking it's called calcium something. So I've taken different supplements throughout my life for various needs and various things. And I always sometimes question whether it's all in your mind, placebo, or they actually work.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can put my finger on an answer for either direction. But what I do think is that when you're trying to grow in a certain area of your life, the more energy you put towards that topic will naturally have you improve in that subject either way. Whether that energy is money, time, focus, whatever, it's energy. So it's just another form of energy you're putting to better this one topic. And overall, it will rise the tide in that area. So some people, I think, as well as myself, I get mentally hung up on the, is it a waste of money? Is it a placebo? Am I getting bait and switched with this thing? And you need to, I think, get yourself out of the mindset, do a little bit of judgment, and just keep moving forward and apply the energy in a good way.
So, friends, are you taking any supplements? And how are you feeling about them?
You're raging.
Let us know.
Healthy.
Yes. It's also, I think, a different phase of life, right? Now we're
Yes.
in our mid 30s.
Yeah, eventually we'll take a minute of yourself.
So, definitely like post having kids. So my body is different from that. We're mid 30s. Just things are shifting. So
It's shifting. It's
we're evaluating and trying new.
It's okay. Hope I don't get kidney stones. Okay. In-person seminars.
Yes. So I texted Jon yesterday that I signed us up for an in-person live seminar in LA, May 1st, I believe, with Brandon Burchard. I might be saying that not the best. High performance. We got his book probably back in like 2017, and I have yet to read it, but I've known about him since then. And he came up on the social media, and it was a very reasonable price. So
Nice.
last year for Jon's birthday, well, actually for my birthday, he gifted me with an in-person seminar, which we still haven't done yet. But for his birthday, we actually made it happen very last minute. And it was wonderful. I think we decided like 2 weeks before your birthday and like pulled it all off.
Ty Lopez. If you guys are in the world of self-improvement or whatever, look up Ty Lopez.
So we did that, and that kind of got us back in it, I would say. So yeah, yesterday I found another opportunity. I went to Gabby Bernstein in January, the end of January. My cousin watched the kids. If you listen to our previous podcast, that did happen. And it was so wonderful. It filled my cup. There's something different about live in-person events.
Yeah.
I did
just like sports or football, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can watch it on TV and that's great and that's cool and enjoyable, but
nothing like being there.
You gotta admit, it's just different in person.
I did a virtual Tony Robbins event. That was super cool.
Tony's great.
So I saw this one coming up and I jumped on it. So
Yeah, I think our new goal is to try and make something like that happen every month. If we want to write it on paper, make something like that happen every month. It's a cost, but it's an investment. I think of those things and where you have to be in person is because it's less, you're going to learn a lot, but I think it's almost less about the learning and more about the energy. So every day we show up and we're trying to move ourselves forward and grow and grow and grow. We're creating our own energy, our own fire, right? And we have to put that fuel in ourselves. Well, if you go to one of those things, it's like taking other people's gasoline and putting it on your fire. It's just easy energy to absorb. You're like, this is all these people want to do the same thing as me, and they're ahead of me, and I'm absorbing all this good stuff, and I'm learning and growing, and it's instead of you fighting the winds and the water with your flame, your flame is being doused. All this being like, woo! So it's just free energy. So I think, well, not free, he's gonna pay to go.
but that's the other thing about it is side note, it was not raining the past like hour and a half we were here. Now we
Can you hear us?
the energy of the people in the room. So the network that you are surrounded by, like John just said, you're feeding off of their energy and you're also able to make friends. So like the Ty Lopez conference, we made a couple friends and we've stayed in contact with. And it's really nice to have those like touch points and be able to encourage one another, see how each other's doing. I hope we get to go see our new friend Bethany someday, like visit her where she lives because she's out of state. And I think it'd be really cool to go and connect with her out of state. So it's not just the person you're seeing at the, what is it called? The headline thing, the main speaker, right? But the people in the room with you. So
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
so
And
also
if you've never jumped off that ledge, but you've been curious, you should jump off that ledge.
and I've mentioned this before to John that I want to go to like a wellness seminar where we like learn how to like take care of ourselves better. It's like a yoga, spiritual massages, therapy type retreat. I like for my 40th birthday, I want to go to like a Bali scenario and do some type of wellness retreat, couples retreat. Like we're open to different types of these live in person things too. So
Yeah. Okay. Overnights away together as a couple.
so that piggybacks off of this idea. Um,
So how your relationship with your spouse or significant other is very important, right? But how much time, energy, money, whatever energy you want to measure, are you putting directly into that every day? And by the way, the everyday check boxes don't count. So putting down the toilet seat, although it's an important ritual to show that you remember the other individual, it doesn't add into that energy level. It just doesn't. It becomes a checkbox.
well, and the thing with the everyday is that it's interrupted, right? It's like you have this doctor's appointment, the kids have this activity, the kids want this done, you got to run to Costco, you're making dinner. Like it's not focused time.
It's energy.
And even on a date, you're tending to different things like the phone rings or you're texting the babysitter and your window is really short and it just keeps getting eaten away. You're dropping your car off for a smog and
Friend calls.
during
Yeah.
an overnight, you have more of that continuous time and it's a longer stretch. Like you're driving somewhere, you're flying somewhere, you have the night together. It just is a greater chunk of time together.
It's the way I look at it is if you were to go every night for 6 months where you wake up every 3 hours, so you never had 8 hours of continuous sleep, you're going to be messed up because you never had that full 8 hour chunk of REM to reach those levels that were necessary. And I think people understand that concept. It's a popular enough concept that so many people have heard. You can digest that and go, okay, yeah, I know you need a certain amount of time to reach this level of sleep that helps your brain in this way. And so imagine going months and months and months without that. That's the same thing with a relationship. If you see each other in little chunks, and never actually get to have that long dose chunk of almost to the point where you sit next to each other and you don't need to say anything, you're just kind of chilling and there's no one screaming. You need that chunk to let the peace come to you, right? Or whatever. But you need the chunk. It's important to buy in and make that happen for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. So we did not start spending time away from the kids.
So for 4 years?
Well, we did it one night when Harlow was almost 2. And then we've slowly added in a few more. And it's also a budget, thing too, right? Like spending a night or 2 nights away is a bigger budget. So planning for that, it's still is not something that happens frequently.
Here's the thing about budgeting though. And so you have your quadrants: health, wealth, love, and happiness. Here's the thing about budgeting and ignoring one of the most important quadrants, which is health. And love is relationships, but health is one of the most important ones. And there's a phrase in business, which is, if your business needs a machine to create its product and you don't have it, then your business is already losing money. So you're afraid about spending money on this machine because it's going to cost your business money. But the fact that you don't have this machine to keep your business moving forward means your business is actually already losing money through opportunity costs, through competition, through friction, through inefficiencies, all these reasons. But it's a concept to embrace into your life, right? If keeping us of a mindset to be able to think big and grow big, to keep us healthy, to be able to be in a good mood and not yell at our kids, to keep our relationship in a place where we look at each other and smile and want to be around each other, as opposed to an ever going swirling down, right? That takes time and money, but the return on it for all that time not spending that time and money will give you back even more time and money. Because if you haven't bought the machine, you're just going to create more friction. You need to buy into the machine. It's kind of a weird metaphor for it.
No, but the fans love your metaphors. That's part of, the thing. Like, what's Jon going to talk about? Last podcast, you didn't give them anything. So I bet they're really excited you put it back in there.
Sorry about my metaphors. Okay,
I love it.
What's our time at?
You have 1 minute?
We have 1 minute. Habit tracking. We're going to crush this last one. Peter Drucker, habit tracking. Jordan Peterson. My favorite thing about Jordan Peterson is that he's so hard on individual truth with being truthful to yourself. And that's how you can build relationships. You can't be truthful to yourself. You can't be truthful to other people. Every decision you make throughout the day. Habit tracking takes that to another level. So if you actually write it down, you can look at yourself every single day and go, did I really exercise for an hour? Did I really only have 1 glass of wine this week? These little things that we look past. Or did I really get 8 hours of sleep? Or did I go to bed late all these nights, right? If you habit track and you write them down, because the progress doesn't come from wanting these habits. The progress comes from them happening, right? If you think about doing bicep curls for 6 months, your biceps aren't going to get bigger. They actually have to happen. And lots of times we think we did 10, but in reality we did 7, and we missed a couple days, and then we wonder why our biceps aren't getting bigger. Just an example. But habit tracking, we're doing a lot better with that. Amanda took my journal concept that I use, and she made a really nice thing for me. So now it's all laid out, and I'm 10 times more efficient now, and I'm even better at tracking my habits, which I'm not perfect, but I'm better than I was a month ago.
That's great.
That's cool.
Thanks for the update. I want to see it if you want to share.
Yeah, well, I don't have it with us, but I'll show you later.
Yeah. I started habit tracking my movement after seeing Ashley Iverson speak live at the end of 2022. And that was like, am I really moving my body? And it was not to be a negative thing, it was to be a positive thing. Like, I walked the kids in the stroller, we went to Sunset for a bike ride, like even that, just to see I was moving my body and in that way. Obviously, like Peloton things too, but that was huge for me, and I've been doing it since then. So that's exciting. And then I've shifted to add a few more things besides that I track separately, and habit stacking. So do you do that? Where like you brush your teeth and floss them at the same time, right? It's a habit that's stacked together. So you do both of those things.
Yeah, my morning routine is a habit stack.
With what?
So every morning I wake up and I read 5 specific pages of things. There are 3-year goals, 7-year goals, kind of energies. So every single morning it kind of realigns my brain to what my energies are supposed to be going to, because it's easy to forget. Like, even as I try to consider myself like a good husband and father, but sometimes it's really easy to be like, oh, I'm just going to work the next 8 days. That'll solve these problems. And you're like, wait a second. I'm not being the best husband or father, maybe. So wait a second. What's the first energy? First energy goes to wife. And then kids. Okay, well, that doesn't follow that rule. So let's figure out another solution to that problem. Move these Legos this way. So every morning I do that. And then I track, whether I went to bed on time, whether I woke up on time. If I exercised the day before, I have specific exercises because I got back and hip problems. I don't like doing these exercises because these are unpleasant for me, and they don't make me feel, masculine and strong and all these things that are nice for your, hormones. And so I check the box. Okay, I did my hip exercises. Okay, those are my stacked things. I knock those out every morning. Oh, so I think that's what you mean, right?
Yeah, that was a great example.
Yeah, that's my example.
Yeah, I'm still figuring out how to habit stack. It's a little bit challenging for me, not to make an excuse. I just haven't figured it out yet. With the kids, and my mornings look different every day. John's mornings typically look pretty consistent with, he wakes up at a certain time and does his stuff. If I've had a rough night with the kids, then I don't sacrifice my sleep to wake up early. I will try to stay in bed longer to kind of like make up that sleep. Or the kids, I'm laying with them at 6 in the morning, so that might have been my workout window, was from like 6 to 7:30 before they wake up, and now I'm laying with them to try to get them to sleep longer, so I didn't get my thing. So we'll come back to habit stacking and see our new things, or just an update in a few months.
Yeah, if you guys, I know it sounds like a cheesy add-in, but if you guys have habits that you like, habits that you're trying out, habits you wish you had, we are interested to hear.
Yeah. Share with us.
That's how we learn things, is by listening to people and hearing what other people are doing. Another habit my buddy just taught me, because we're trying to influence our kids to speak Spanish, and his home language at home is Spanish. His wife only speaks Spanish. So he's like, oh yeah, our habit is to watch these videos and on YouTube, and gave me this person. So it's a subscribe, it could be whatever. But anyways, we tried that out in our home, and it's an awesome habit. So now it's a habit we got because he was willing to share it with us. But yeah, so if you guys have habits, please throw them our way too. Love to hear them.
Thanks for chatting with us.
Bye.